Welcome back to Carnage Unleashed. As always, you got Kev Nevick and Zach Dominique with me. Today we have special guest Dylan Budka.
Well,
Looks like he had
maybe
a
we
little
got him.
little technical difficulties.
Well, we'll bring it back on when he gets back on. How about that?
Yes, absolutely. How you fellas doing tonight?
I'm great, Wade. Living the dream. As you guys can probably tell, I got to spend some of my America holiday over on the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. So got to catch a Cubs game with my brother for his birthday, and they won, which is good because I have a horrible attendance record. When I go watch my favorite teams play, well, they lose every single time it happens. So I'm excited to be back to work and geared up for a huge event, boys. I'm excited. July the 26th, we got like 2 weeks and a couple of days away. So I'm feeling pretty good, Zach. How about you?
I'm feeling good. I mean, 4th of July was great for me. I got to do what my cousins used to do to me, and I got to throw them off tubes. So
Nice.
I had to be the older cousin for once and, show them how to actually tube, jumping from tube to tube and throwing them out. My older cousins thought I was crazy at my age doing that kind of stuff, but you know me, I'm still a child. Wait.
Yeah. My 4th of July was great. We can see the fireworks from our yard, so we just kicked back, had a couple drinks, and watched the fireworks.
Okay, heck yeah. Well, I see Dylan's back. So, Dylan, how was your 4th of July?
There he is.
What up? My 4th of July was good. I was just training, getting ready for this boxing fight on the 26th.
Yeah.
I was say I saw the photo, right? The 4th of July crew. I was impressive, man. On a day where most of us are either watching or participating in hot dog eating contests, you guys were in there working the leather.
I was setting up the fireworks in the gym.
There we go. And so this is going to be your first professional boxing match, right?
Yes, sir. And I'm so excited.
Yeah. Tell us what got you from going to MMA to boxing? What was because I know you did some as amateur, but what made you want to do it as a pro?
Well, obviously when I got to the UFC, one of the main things that I was affected with was his hands, and I wasn't really comfortable in there throwing the hands. And I talked to my coach, and we wanted to do a test run down to 75 before we make the run to welterweight, and a boxing class and the boxing world is 175, so that's our first test run to get down to welterweight, and it's going amazing. My body's feeling great. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm ready to showcase on the 26th.
Awesome. So since you're saying that you're test running down to 175, like, what's been the process? Has it really been nailing down your nutrition and like how you said your body's feeling good? How so?
Yeah, I'm working with Dawn Kelly. She's actually a nutritionist in the PI, the UFC PI, and she's out of Vegas. She's really good at what she does. I worked with 15 different nutritionists, and it's crazy how good this works. I wish I would have had her when I was trying to get down to middleweight because it probably would have been really easy. And yeah, bro, I'm waking up below 90 now, and my energies are still high. I get to eat full meals a day, steak and potatoes. I get to have shrimp and pasta. I get a whole bunch of stuff that I love to eat. And my practices have been the highest energy practices I've had my whole career. I have a 6-pack full time now, so that's nice too. I get to take my shirt off whenever I want and not feel fat. And yeah, bro, I just feel amazing. I'm ready to showcase that. I'm ready to showcase how hard I've worked. And diet is a big part of this game, man. And I try to tell a lot of Amies that I train with all the time how big it is and everything. It's important, and this sport is 80% diet. I feel like 80% diet. If your diet's good, you're gonna perform good in there. You're gonna practice good. So, yeah, I'm feeling amazing. I'm ready to showcase in Findlay.
That's awesome. Yeah. With you getting down and staying lean, does that like help you with recovery as well? Like all that nutrition that they're providing you?
Oh yeah, and I think it's growing my hair back too because I ain't getting as bald anymore, and my receding hairline showing. You all wouldn't know about that though.
No idea. I just really like hats. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, you said You said how? What was your question again? Sorry, I was looking at Wolfman's head.
No problem. I was just saying, like, how does that apply for your recovery? Is it
Oh, the
you said you
recovery.
were
Yeah.
running?
I'm actually added creatine into my diet too for the first time, and it helps with brain health for MMA and boxers. And obviously I'm gonna be doing a lot more sparring for a boxing bout, and taking a little bit more hits during practice. So we're trying to protect the brain so I can talk when I'm 40 years old. So the creatine's helped me recover good. I'm taking my recovery process smart, doing sauna sessions, steam rooms, compression, and making sure as I'm making this change in my life and the clothes sizes are changing, that I'm still staying healthy and able to keep moving.
Awesome. Yeah, I swear by creatine. I was just telling Buddy about that because we started lifting again, and I was telling him, like, dude, if you take creatine, I can swear to you, you don't get as sore.
You
You
don't at
you
all,
get
and it
energy.
makes you look better.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
makes the muscle look crazy.
Get that pump.
Yep.
Zach, you got any questions for him?
Yeah. So what was it that actually made you want to drop down to 170 then? Because you've been fighting 185 your whole entire career. So you're trying to make the jump down to 170, and you're kind of getting down at 175. What was it that actually made you go, "Yep, this is what I want to do. This is going to be the best for my career"? What was it?
Honestly, I'll be for real. Not too long ago, I got depressed a little bit, and my career started taking a little. I had a thump in the road, and I got lazy in my career, and I started eating crappy. I lost muscle, and I lost my focus a little bit in the room, and I just got lazy. I started eating shit I shouldn't have been eating. I wasn't doing the right nutrition, and I became human again, and it hit me hard, and I lost muscle, I lost size, and I realized I turned into a little fat ass. So it's my fault though. I have no excuses on why it happened to me, but I'm just ready to come back. And I knew that with what I did to my body wrong, I had to make a change in my life, and that was get the fat off my body and get rid of the toxins that I put into it. And that's what I did, and I'm making up for everything I lost, and making up for all the fat I gained.
Extra workouts, right? Extra workouts.
Yeah, extra workouts to make up for it.
Yeah. So, and speaking of your workouts, so how's that? How that's been? Because MMA, obviously, you've got to train all different things. Your kicking, your ground game, your wrestling, cage grappling, and since you can just focus on one thing for this upcoming fight, what has that done to kind of help complete you as a fighter? Then,
Oh man, I think I should have did the straight boxing workouts way sooner, honestly, because when I was an amateur, I had 12, 15 boxing bouts, and I went undefeated. I had 2 boxing titles, and as I was doing them boxing fights, I was getting more comfortable in the cage with my hands. So I kind of shied away from it when I turned into a pro MMA fighter, because everything was UFC, 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 and that's my main focus, was being an MMA fighter. But you got to have them rounds where you're just focusing on boxing, because there's gonna be a day somebody can stuff your shot. There's gonna be a day somebody can check your kicks. So I think it's opened up my eyes to see really how good my hands are, because I've been forced to only use my hands for the last 2 months. Man, that sounded good. I'm getting good at this shit.
Well versed. Hey, I'm going to step in here and throw a question your way, Dylan. It kind of goes back to what you were just talking about previously, and you were talking about how the impacts to the diet, how you've changed your diet, your workout. But just recently, I kind of got back on social media. As you know, you can't really do some of these jobs if you're not actively posting. You got to kind of tell people what you're doing. And so I have seen a lot more of your posts than I probably would have in the past, because I wasn't on Facebook as much. But, I noticed that you have talked a lot about this recent transition, right? Ran through a rough patch in your career. And I've seen that you've been putting a lot of effort to put some messages out there about positivity and that mindset and everything. So, do you just want to kind of talk us about sort of in addition to the other changes, just how your mindset has changed? Because it does feel like over the last few months that you've definitely been putting some work into that, and it shows. So what was that? What has that been like, and how do you feel now compared to then?
uh, I've changed everything in my life, honestly, bro. After I, before I got kicked out of the UFC, everything was down, man. I'm not gonna have too many excuses because I got my ass beat in there. I went to the biggest show in the world, took the chance, and got my ass beat. I learned a lot in there, but as I was getting my ass beat, I was going through a lot of stuff behind closed doors that I had to fix. I had to change. I got addicted to things I shouldn't have got addicted to when I got down and out, and a lot of it had to do with the passing of my parents and my dad and stuff, and I finally got a grasp of it. I met a life coach, and he got me closer to God, and he got me closer to opening up that Bible, getting off this damn phone all the time, and but just believing in that there's something that believes in me, and knowing that it's I'm not done. It's not over, and my story's not done. And I changed everything as soon as I got close to God. I changed my habits. I got a new home that has windows. I got a car now, and since I got close to God and I met the people I have in my life now that I changed, everything's changed, my mindset. Um, but it's mostly just God, man, and everything that I've read in the Bible and everything I've took the time to learn, it's just changed my life fully, and it's just crazy that in 2 months how much it's changed because I got a home now. I got evicted after I got kicked out of the UFC. I got a home now. I'm not sad no more. I got a brand new car, and now I'm about to make it back to the UFC and go get that motherfucking strap after I win this boxing fight.
Hell yeah. Well, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, that was the wrong phrase for me to follow with what you just said.
You're good,
Sorry.
bro. You're good, bro.
Old habits die hard.
and I want to end that with, if somebody is watching it that is, and you're struggling or you're having a hard time, that it's only rock bottom if you never go back. And that's something that stuck with me this whole time I've been getting better.
100%, and that is sort of, something that you'll be able to provide, that something like people love a comeback. They love a good story, but it's one thing to be, an inspirational poster on social media. It's another thing to be like an example, to lead by example and show people that, hey, this can be done. You too can get out of that. So, just want to give you your props here in this moment. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Have been definitely seeing the growth, and, obviously I have to stay biased in these things, but, your next fight, when it's not one that we're broadcasting, I'll be rooting for you. So we'll just say that. So
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Kind of sticking on that topic, you went through that rough patch. You were in the UFC. I know you're going through some hard things, but what did you learn with that experience?
You can't take this for granted. You can't take the opportunities for granted. You gotta, when you make it to the big show and you get to the top, you just can't get comfortable. It's not over then. Like, no one cares if you just make it to the UFC. They care when you get them wins. They care when you're at the top of the rankings. They care when your name's on the front of the UFC game. And even then, sometimes they don't even care after you lose. So I learned that I have to do this for myself. I have to prove myself right. And I learned that you never stop learning in this game, and it's crazy that you never can, and you just gotta keep going and finding that work, and becoming a better fighter and a better person outside of the cage as you're learning who you are in the cage. So there's a lot of good fighters out there, and they're still working, and there's a lot of up and comers, and they're not slowing down, so you can't slow down either. You gotta keep pushing, and you gotta keep getting better every single day, because I've went against the top fighters in the world, and they're still grinding every single day. And you can't take no breaks. You can't start slacking. You can't start eating shitty, and you can't start training less or changing your schedule because you made it and you're like, oh, well, I did it. No, you didn't do nothing yet. You didn't do shit yet. You got to keep going. You got to go get that shit now. You made it. Now you got to go get that shit. And now I know I got to go get that shit. And I'm going to go get that shit.
Yeah, I love that shift in your mindset there. Yeah, I feel like sometimes people, it's like, let's get to that UFC. You get there, you're like, all right, I made it. Now,
yeah, they get comfortable.
But you gotta switch that mindset. Okay, now I made it. Now this is the start. Now I got a new finish.
A new chapter.
Yep. Love the mindset there. And so after those 3 losses, you came back, you got back to training, bounced back, and got a W. How'd that W feel? How'd that whole next fight feel for you?
Robert Gidron was way tougher than I thought he was, honestly, and I low key kind of doubted him in there. I'm not gonna lie, he proved me wrong in there. He's a tough competitor, and he deserves to be on bigger shows because I brought it to his ass in the wrestling. He didn't break. He wasn't giving me no easy win in there. But after that fight, I realized I ain't no motherfucking 85er no more because he was still twice the size of me and probably 3 times stronger than me, and he was such a tough opponent. And I really needed that fight to bring back my motivation because the first 2 rounds I was still. It's hard coming back from 3 losses, bro, and it's hard coming back getting starched like I did against Edmund and being made a meme online on thousands of web pages and being posted everywhere and seeing people make fun of you and make little music videos of you wobbling your legs doing the chicken dance and shit. But it's hard coming back and you're thinking about that while you're walking out and you're like, shit, if it happens here on the regional show, guess what's going to happen? Same type of shit. So I had to really dig deep for that fight. And out of all the opponents I went against, that was honestly one of the hardest ones because it's like, shit, if I lose this, it's 4 in a row, man. And it's just on your mind while you're walking out there. And I had to really dig deep. And I remember going into the 3rd round, I'm exhausted because I really didn't take that fight camp serious either. And I was still a little sloppy in the body, wasn't really eating all the way right yet. And I was in the process of getting better, kind of. And in the 3rd round, I felt my brain kind of switch, and I was like, here it comes, you're coming back. And I felt myself want it again. And I felt my motivation coming back, and I wanted to grind that last 3rd round out. And I told Coach afterwards, I was like, that was a shitty performance, but we're back. And I felt it right away, and we got back in the room literally the Monday after the fight, and we started this process right now. And I said, I'm ready to make the jump to 70.
That's awesome. Yeah. Looking back at your career, I'd always say, I was like, man, if you could get down to 170, I think that'd really be where you could start shining. And I'm excited to see where your career goes from there.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we all know that. Well, at least the fighters and stuff. That we know that this game is it's an emotional roller coaster. I mean, the fight game just is. You've got your good days, you got your bad days. I mean, that's not even just talking about wins and losses. That's just talking about being in the gym. I mean, there's days you go in the gym and you're just like, what am I doing? Like you leave the gym going, why did I choose this? What did I do? So with all the experience that you have, accumulated going to the UFC, like you said, you hit your rock bottom and you're climbing on out. How can you, because I know you're a figure amongst a lot of these younger fighters around the Northwest Ohio area, because I know you jump around and train at different gyms. What is it that you hope to kind of impress on these newer fighters coming up, and what is it, that they need to know to get to your level?
Honestly, you gotta stay in love with the sport. You gotta stay in love with the sport, and you gotta keep wanting to learn. And I said it earlier, but when I started going down, I stopped falling in love with the sport. I stopped finding new things to learn. I thought where I was at was enough, and that's where I fucked up. You gotta keep wanting to learn, and you gotta keep being a rookie, even when you're a veteran. You gotta keep listening to people. You can't act like you know everything. You got to go into a room, even if there's a coach that's never had a fight before, and take that advice he gives you, because you might have to use that in one of your fights one day. And I think that's a big part of making it to the top, because with humbleness and thankfulness and understanding all the people that are around you trying to help you, because everybody that you train with ain't going to be in the UFC, but everybody you train with usually is going to help you get to the UFC and help you get to the top. And you got to really pay attention to what everybody's helping you with. You got to be grateful for your teammates, and also clap for others while you're coming up. Because if you're clapping for others, your time eventually is going to come, and help other people out while they're trying to make it too. If somebody's cutting weight with you, don't forget you gotta go cut weight with that motherfucker, because that's your brother. If they're eating a clean diet and you're chilling out with them, go chill out with them. You need a clean diet too. Like be there for your teammates, be there for yourself, and surround yourself around a whole bunch of people that are trying to get to the top too. Because your main 3 friends or your main 3 people you're always with, I can usually tell your future from them 3 people. So you definitely gotta be hanging out with the people that want to make it too.
100%. I agree with all of that stuff right there. So, coming back to sort of the X's and O's of it all, you mentioned before that this pro boxing bout is sort of a first step in getting back to and fighting at 170. So, with that in mind, like, do you have a timeline in place? Is this just a one-time stop at the pro boxing level? Do you plan on doing a couple of those as you head or as you head back towards MMA at 170, or am I kind of putting the cart before the horse on you? Feel free to let me know if I'm pushing.
Hey, we're about to go on a run this year, and we got a lot of fights scheduled, and we have our welterweight debut right after this fight. I can't say much yet, but I will say that it's about a month and a half after this fight. We will have a 170 debut at welterweight, and we're looking to get back into the UFC by January of next year.
Oh, okay. You gave me a lot more than I expected there, brother.
That's all I can say, though. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And I'm definitely wanting to take a few more boxing bouts, and I would love to do that because I enjoy training boxing. It's fun, and I think the sport is awesome too, and it's different for me, and it takes me out of my comfort zone, and I like that it does because I can't take everybody down in boxing. I got to stand, and I got to trade, which forces me to stand and trade in the cage too. So we got a lot planned. Me and Gary got a lot planned, and I'm really excited to announce all of it after this fight. But that's all I can say.
I'll be ready. I'll keep an eye out for those posts. I'm excited. Thank you for giving us that much. I greatly appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
Zach, Wade, what? I feel like I've been talking there for a minute. What else you guys got? I don't want to take them all.
Well, everybody wants a little bit of Dylan here. Everybody wants a little piece of that mindless Hulk. So, what? Okay, so now that you've been focusing on the boxing, what has been your favorite thing that you've picked up while just boxing? Because me personally, I love boxing. I love the art of boxing. I love the strategy behind it. It's chess and then UFC stuff, the MMA. That is a little bit more advanced chess in my opinion. That's more of your 4D, 5D chess because you have to do so much stuff. But since you're just focusing on just boxing, what has been, your favorite thing that you've kind of picked up, whether it's from a coach, teammate, maybe it's different footwork, different combos? What is it that really has stuck with you the most, I guess, in this training, boxing training you've done?
I would say the different type of combos boxers throw. Like, I've been working with Amin a lot. Big boxer from Soul City. He trains in Ohio, Cleveland, everywhere, Toledo. But the different type of combos you got to throw in boxing aren't the same in MMA because if you stay in the pocket as long as you do in MMA, in boxing and MMA, you're getting hit with a knee or you're going to get took down. So I thought it was cool figuring out the different types of angles I have to hit in boxing that I can't hit in MMA, but I also can eventually include in MMA. And then I really enjoy the conditioning workouts and the push through the workouts because them rounds in boxing are longer. You're doing 4 or 5, 6 rounds. You got to go longer conditioning rounds while you're in the room, and that helped with my mindset and help bringing my mindset back to having to push and be uncomfortable. And I also enjoy what boxing has made my body look like too. It's made my boxing look like it's made my body look like a machine, and I look like a beast again. So boxing is definitely a very beautiful sport, just like MMA, and it's excited me. It's excited me watching the film, watching the boxers I like to watch, and get ready to fight Sherman on the 26th.
So since it's a Findlay card, here I am asking another one that you may not want to answer. So if this is going to be a surprise or you haven't thought of it yet, that's okay. We'll just let it slide. I know it's going to be a Findlay show, a Cube show. You got any thoughts on you got a special walkout song? I feel like the last time we were in the Cube, what was it? Was it the Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, yep. That was Hulk Hogan. Yep. I can't tell y'all that yet because it's so good. I can't tell y'all that one. That is too good. I made it. I actually mixed it up myself, and I have a customized walkout for this one. So if y'all want to see it and hear it, and you're watching this, make sure you come out to the Cube on the 26th, get your tickets, and hear the walkout song because it's gonna make the motherfucking ceiling jump.
Yes, there we go. Can't wait for that.
I can't say that one, Kev. I want to tell you, bro.
I know it's fair, dude. I wasn't sure, you know. I gotta ask, but I always am prepared to accept I can't talk about that right now. So, you know, I understand the boundary.
I can't. I want it to be a surprise.
Perfect. I like surprises.
Because it goes with the fit. That's the hint I'll give you. That's the hint I'll give you. It goes with the fit, and my fit is all. Y'all haven't seen the fit yet, but the fit. That was one of the most exciting things I am for boxing too. We can kind of show off our swag in the boxing ring a little bit. Like I got that Baltimore swag. I'm from the hood, so I can show off the swag a little bit in the boxing ring. I can't do it with the compressions because we just get the compressions. I can throw the shoes on, the boxing shorts, but the boxing shorts and the shoes, they're USA themed, and that has to go with my song. That's my hint.
Oh,
ooh, okay.
That's all I got.
We got another rock. We're
out the window.
We're filming another Rocky movie, guys. We're filming another Rocky movie. Perfect. Well, Dylan, do you have any sponsors? Anybody you want to shout out? Anything like that?
I want to thank everybody that has supported me through this journey to the professional boxing debut. All my friends, my fans, my supporters, my sponsors. There's a whole bunch that will be on my shorts on the 26th, and I will be making tons of posts shouting them out. If anybody watching this has a chance to go check it out, make sure you go check it out. Check their pages out, give them follows. And I appreciate everybody that bought tickets. We're almost at a sold-out crowd for this show, and I'm super excited to perform for everybody in Findlay. It's one of my favorite places to fight because of the energy, especially at the Cube. I appreciate Carnage Media, Zach, Kev, and Wade for bringing me on again. The show just keeps getting better, and everything you guys are doing I can see, and it looks amazing, and it's making me feel even more excited to fight for y'all. And Sherman Williams, I appreciate you taking this fight, brother, and I can't wait to share the ring with you.
Right on. Well, thank you, Dylan, for taking the time out of your training to join us for a little bit of talk. So we will see you July
26th. July 26th. Let's fucking go! Let's go!
All right. And like that, he's out.
That was a better transition than what I would have done from the
I know, right?
guy, so no notes from me.
No. Well, just get ready for that Rocky Part 16 or something like that. I don't know what Rocky we're on. So no, I'm excited about that. So he sounds like he's gone through some stuff and he's come out the other end. I'm excited to see what he's done in his boxing game to kind of see where he's at. You know, we've seen him. Mm-hmm. We saw him as in the UFC. We saw him what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a ground guy, take people down and stuff like that. So it's nice to see him working on what he thinks he needs to work on, which I think he needs to work on as well as that stand-up game. So I think this is going to help him in the long run.
Yep.
So, but
that's right.
Yeah. And without further ado, let's bring on his opponent, Sherman William. Sherman, how are you, buddy?
How you guys doing? I'm doing fine.
Good. Hey, Sherman, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
So you're normally just a boxer, right? You just box. You're not an MMA guy. You've only done boxing.
I only done boxing. I did a little wrestling in high school. I didn't like it. Only done boxing.
Hey, I can understand that. I'm not a wrestling fan like Wade is over here. Wade's the wrestler out of the group. So yeah. I love my boxing.
Unless you're Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's the GOAT. Unless you're pro wrestling. I don't know. Wrestling.
Now you're talking Kevin.
Yes, that was a good one, Sherman. You just dissed Wade and got bonus points with me, which is like you get 2 bonus points for that one. Yes, love that.
Yes, sir.
So, coming into this fight, you're going against Dylan Budka. He is a UFC vet. What are you going to do to bring your boxing experience into this? Do you think that this is something that is going to be in your benefit? A guy who's normally a wrestler, and then you are nothing but basically boxing.
Yes. I think he's like fighting an alligator in water. I think he's coming into my world, and I'm very thankful that he's giving me an opportunity to fight him with his type of name, and he's coming in my world. I think I think it's gonna be very good for me.
Okay. All right. And what is your favorite part? Let me let's go a little bit more personal here. What's your favorite part about boxing? Because I know my favorite part about boxing, but everyone's got their niche when it comes to their
Can I
styles
tell
and
you the
stuff.
truth? Can I be honest?
Yeah, please.
I love that I can legally fuck people up.
Yes, thank you. That's a great answer. I'm going to clip that one.
He's
Thank
from
you.
Baltimore. I'm from St. Louis. Them are two places that like to tweak, and I want me and Dylan to both tweak in the ring. Respectfully, just business.
Yeah, so if that ends up happening, that's going to be an electric show. So I'm looking forward to that. But Sherman, what got you into boxing?
Well, I grew up with a single mom. I knew my father. Uh, he was there, but he wasn't really there. But he come from a line of fighters. I didn't find out till I got older. I used to always, fight. I used to always fight. I used to have a problem with fighting. I used to be in and out of juvenile jail systems. So I grew up in St. Louis, so it's very war heavy mindset here, and I always had to defend myself, and that's one thing I'm glad that I'm an adult and I have my own kid now, and I'm very laid back and stable minded now because a lot of that was unnecessary, and I transformed that into positivity by just training and starting boxing myself.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
awesome to turn that kind of unfortunate situation into a positive.
yes, sir.
With that, like, was there a specific person where you just like walking down the street one day and saw that happening and like, yeah, I'm gonna go into that gym, or is it because you knew your
Um.
father was in fighting?
So so St. Louis at one point in time used to be a very big boxing city. It kind of lost its passion over the decades. So I grew up watching people like Corey Spinks, Devin Alexander, Vaughn Alexander. Um, I know Vaughn personally. I don't really know Devin. He's a champ. He's a champ. I know his big brother Vaughn. Um, I used to train with Vaughn like in Planet Fitness. We used to like run the treadmill a lot together. I used to give him some free Gatorade. Don't tell my boss. um, Corey Spinks, I was a big fan of. I remember back in like 2004. I was very young. I'm 29 now. So imagine 2004. He brought Zab Judah to the city, and that was like the biggest fight ever in St. Louis. Like Corey Spinks versus Zab Judah, and Zab beat our boy, and we all didn't like it. and and I like boxing, bro. I like that two grown men can consent and duel. I just love it.
Yeah,
Legally,
I
we just agree. You
yep,
know?
I agree. That was kind of my mindset. Is like when I found wrestling, it was like I didn't get to like punch or nothing, but you can still inflict a little bit of pain. So it's like you go through a bad day, like you can get some aggression out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we like punching people rather than pinning them, Wade. All right.
Oh yeah, man. Like in St. Louis, unfortunately, if you get in a fight on the street, man, and you start wrestling, the whole neighborhood is gonna break the fight up, and they're gonna say you're a loser. They don't do all that butt rubbing and ball touching, and you know that's not cool.
Yeah,
Although,
Wade.
like, I understand fighting. I understand that man's smart to wrestle that guy. He can't beat that guy in striking, so he has to wrestle. I understand that, but the community, they don't accept it.
Oh yeah, definitely in the streets. They definitely wouldn't accept it.
The streets and the comment
Yes,
section
sir.
of any UFC video, they say the same stuff, right? They don't love seeing the two wrestlers go at it either. Well, Sherman, before I go back to the usual questions, I gotta admit I'm a little nervous now. I picked the wrong day to wear my Cubs gear to the show from St. Louis. Baseball
Oh
fan
man.
at all? Do we have a rivalry coming up on the 26th? I promise I'll be nice.
Man, look, I respect that you're allowing me to tweak. You're allowing me to tweak, man. So hey, I'll forgive you for being a Cubs fan. Just
I
if I
appreciate it.
beat Dylan, you wear Cardinal gear. You wear some Cardinal gear, okay?
Okay, I could do that. You know what? I have one friend who would love to send me his Cardinal gear and force me to wear it. So you know what? I will do that. I respect that. I like it.
Yes, sir. How you
So
like
as
Albert Pujols?
Oh, all right. Sorry, guys, to take the baseball break for a second, but I have to give credit where it's due. He's the kind of guy that to me transcends even the rivalry. Like, even as a Cubs fan, if you couldn't look at Albert Pujols and be like, that is one of the best to ever do it, and I have to just tip my cap and get mad when he beats us, that's how I feel about it. To me, one of the greatest. If it weren't for that oblique injury that slowed him down a little bit, he'd probably be right up there for me with Ichiro, where I'm just like,
Man,
these guys were insane. They had some kind of cheat code, man. It's like doing a creative player on rookie mode and you just juicing up all your stats, these guys. So nothing but
hey,
respect for
and the
Big Al.
rumors was we don't know his true age. We don't know his true age.
That's true. That's
All
true. I love that. But all right, I'll bring it back to the boxing for now. So with that, we talked a little bit before. You said you prefer boxing over MMA. So sort of like, what's your goal going forward? Obviously, we got the fight in a couple of weeks, but like, how are you looking to use that going forward? Do you have sort of a game plan laid out for the rest of this year? Do you have plans for 2026 yet?
My goal is to be booked up and be an athlete, all the way athlete. I want to box. I want to do bare knuckle. I want to do MMA. I want to just, as long as I'm healthy and God is allowing this to be my reality, my mindset, and keeping this confidence within me, I just want to be active and compete and hopefully be violent and tweak on whoever and get paid for it. Yes, sir.
Got it. We got an upcoming fan favorite for the Carnage Media viewers. What do you boys think?
Oh, I absolutely think he's going to be a favorite.
They're
He's
gonna love my
looking.
abs, man. I'm in shape already. I'm in shape. I'm in shape all year round, man. I can do 100 push-ups for you guys right now. Full crap
We don't need to do that. we're gonna have an ab off here with because Dylan was over here showing his abs too. We're gonna have to have an ab off here. So
I've never been more happy that there's not a camera on the commentary desk for when you two are fighting. Oh, just geez.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing to get ready for this fight?
So I go out to Creve Coeur Lake. It's a big lake here in St. Louis. I go out there. I meditate. They actually got like a workout facility on the lake. I go out there and work out. I walk. I meditate. I train. I do a lot of sparring. I do a lot of shadow boxing. I do a lot of running. I'm very disciplined. I'm naturally disciplined by nature. I've been on JROTC back in high school. So I'm naturally just got a military mindset. So I'm always training and I'm always on go. Literally, I'm like on go. So I'm pretty much ready. I'm very grateful of the name that I'm fighting. That's out of respect out of him. I'm like, I can actually like humbling myself. Like, I respect that he's giving me an opportunity with his name. I feel like if I beat him, I can do a lot with his name, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. I love that idea, the meditation too. You don't. That's at first I thought you're like, yeah, I go out to this lake, I just swim a lake, and I was like, oh, that's impressive. But no, meditating, I feel like that is an equally big part. I think anybody like Dylan was touching on some of that too, right? So much of this is the mental state. So you touched on it a little bit. So do you think having that military background just made it that much easier because you didn't have to change your diet or anything like that? You were just kind of already in the right mindset. Do you think that was to your benefit?
I'm always on go. I believe in be as self-aware as possible. In order to be self-aware, you also got to be physically aware. You know, you got to be physically ready. I'm just always ready. I believe in being in the military. It taught me, I'm not being in the military, being in ROTC. It taught me discipline and it taught me everything I needed. As far as like mind, body, spirit, and being relentless. Don't fear no opponent. It got some of the same values as my faith. Fear no man but God. Um, yeah, I'm just a very mind, body, spirit type of person. And one thing meditation, a lot of people don't know, meditation is some of the best training you can get because it teaches you visualization. When you can visualize your opponent, you can kind of mimic what's going to happen in the ring. And also, like, you kind of can learn that from, I don't know, you guys watch Dragon Ball Z. You guys know Jiren? Jiren just sat in the middle of the tournament power and just meditated. That was pretty, like, it's pretty. Never mind.
Hey, it's all right. You can dump all the anime references you want on here. Okay, no one's gonna scoff at you.
Man, look, bro,
We all watch,
I am a hood person that like Dragon Ball Z. I am from the hood and I like Dragon Ball Z.
Ain't nothing
So
wrong
do
with
I.
that.
Exactly.
My bowling
Yes, sir.
team in
And I
8th
get laid
grade
all the time.
was the Z Warriors. So I'm right there with you. Toonami every day after school. Loved me some Dragon Ball Z. I haven't
It
kept
sounds
up
like
with
we're
it
best
over the
friends, Zach.
years.
It sounds like me and you are
Right?
best friends, bro.
We got to go
You just
catch
gotta
a
get you a
Cubs
Cardinal
Cardinals
fan.
game. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir. Be careful. I'm a gambler, man. I might gamble you $50 on the Cardinals beating the Cubs. Be careful.
Okay, we really are best friends.
Yes, sir.
So, growing up, who was your favorite fighter to watch? Did you have like idol in boxing that you
Man,
like idol?
my favorite boxer is Roy Jones, man. Roy Jones Jr. That's who I love. My favorite boxing game growing up was round 4, Fight Night round 4. I love Get Ready to Rumble, but Roy Jones Jr. is my favorite boxer. And then I like a classic guy. He's way before my time, but I believe his style is so relentless and his heart, and he came from poverty. Roberto Duran. I
Ooh,
love that guy. I'm not in
yeah.
his generation, not at all. I didn't grow up watching him. I watched after, I watched films, Roberto Duran, I respect.
Yeah. Those are two great fighters. Roy Jones Jr. Like I remember watching him, and he was just so far ahead of his time in that ring. And then Duran. Duran is a picture perfect story of coming from the gutter and working his way up to be the best.
I also have a copy
Yeah.
of Fight Night Round 2 somewhere over here for the PS2. So, I'm with you there on that one too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
That is great. So,
yeah, I like a lot of fighters, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I can say my question.
So I like Andre Ward. I like I like Floyd. I really don't like that he runs a lot, but I respect it because it takes skill to run. A lot of people don't know it takes skill to run. That's a skill set. Matter of fact, in nature, one way antelope survive is running. It's how it survives, So it's like I respect Floyd. Robert Guerrero. I met that guy I met him in college. When I met him in college, he came to my college for a bone marrow event, and no one paid him no attention. I'm like, no one knows who this is. Robert Guerrero. Like no one paid him no attention. So I was the only person talking to him. I was the only person networking with him. And then at the same time, I told him how I like Roy Jones, and he was like texting Roy as we speak. Like that was pretty cool. And if you guys don't know Robert Guerrero, he's a pretty good Mexican fighter. He fought Floyd. He's a pretty good guy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Kev, you actually had a question. Let me you ask that question real quick.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna ask, going back a little bit, we were talking about, the Cubs Cards rivalry, or just generally speaking, you got hometown favorites. So you're in a position to go in to the Cube in Findlay, a kind of a home away from home for Dylan. That's right where he trains, so he's probably gonna have a good group of fans there. How do you feel about sort of playing the spoiler? Like, is it a situation? I know some guys really love to go into a loud crowd and kind of shut them up, or is that something that you look forward to? How do you feel about potentially kind of walking into enemy territory, so to speak?
There's no principal in St. Louis school district or St. Louis County school district that liked me growing up. What I mean by that is I'm cool with being a cool bad guy. I want to spoil I want to spoil the party. That's what I come to do. I come to spoil the party and be cool after. Hey, I'm sorry I beat up you guys, boy. Let's have fun. I apologize. It was just business. It was just business.
Really is starting to sound like
Just
Rocky
business.
Four, guys. Starting to sound like we are going to have
Man,
a Rocky movie on our hands.
just don't know. Yeah, man. My first two pro fights were in Detroit. So I was fighting two Detroit boys. So like I got the experience of going to enemy territory in a bigger city even. So it's like I will say that like outside the amateurs, my first two pro fights, I will say when you're fighting in enemy territory, definitely the first time I had to adjust. Because like you feel like you're getting jumped in the ring. Although it's just you and that person, each time you're like scoring points and you're doing good, no one's cheering. But that guy gets one thing off, it's like everyone's like, oh, like it's it's annoying. And like it's it's very annoying. It feels like you're getting jumped in the ring, but only one person fighting you. It's very
And does
uncomfortable.
does that motivate you though? Like while you're in the ring, like you hear it and it's like that. Does that motivate you to come at them
Oh yeah,
harder, do different things?
I feel like I'm a part of NWO. I just feel I feel like DX. You can suck it. Let's tweak. Like real talk, man. I'm cool with it, bro. I love going to enemy territory. I can't wait to bring people to St. Louis. I can't wait to build my name up, build my stock up, be more be more busy so that can happen. So right now I'm going through the steps and going to other people's cities and taking on a prize, and a respect, and then bring that wisdom back to the community.
Yeah,
Now,
that's a great way to do it. Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, do you help out? Like, since you train in that, then do you help out anybody else while you're training? Like, do you have any other fighters underneath you that you kind of guide and kind of steer in their boxing or fighting career period at all?
Uh, my bro is he recently passed away. Besides him, everyone else kind of let life like separate. So like lately, I've been on some Rocky Balboa stuff. I've been just isolated, training, living a warrior samurai mind lifestyle with my family. Um, so lately, no. Recent, growing up, yes. I had a couple friends that did boxing. They didn't take it too far. They let just life get to them. You know, one friend recently passed away. He was very into boxing, and him used to just spar in front of people for no reason. And I wish he would have. I wish he would have just had an amateur belt. He never did. I always try to get him to it. He was just. Other than that, no, just in competitions, like amateur competitions, I met people along the way. Other than that, like all my friends, they really didn't choose boxing. They really didn't choose it. They respect it though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, did you have like a main gym that you go to, or used to go to at all, or did you always just like self train and just like learn along the way by yourself?
All right, so my dad's father, his name's James Cody. You can look him up. He was a professional boxer. He trained a lot of famous boxers here in St. Louis. Um, I didn't really find that out till I got older, and I started getting a little under their tutelage. Um, I've trained at Finney's MMA for a little minute. Just to striking. I trained at Watson MMA, believe it or not. For I say a month. I was doing jujitsu at the time. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I trained at St. Charles MMA for a second, and some guys that came up under there was Tyrone Woodley. He came up under St. Charles MMA. He actually is an alumni of my school. He's older, way older. He wrestled for my school and won the state championship at McClure. Then ended up going to Mizzou and wrestling there. So I kind of know Tyron Willie. I know of him. You know what I'm saying? We ran across, we took a couple pictures. Um, yeah, I kind of just wanna run into Joaquin Buckley and fight him. He's from St. Louis. I really want to run into him. Like I don't think he even understand. Like I want to run into him. That's one guy I just looking to like run into here in St. Louis. I just wanna, you know.
Yep, I feel it. Um,
Yes, sir.
so it sounds like you've had a lot of experience from different places. What have you picked up along the way from those experiences?
I picked up different. Uh, I picked up different psychologies from different people. Um, so like I learned that like definitely like different gyms have different psychology. Um, different. Some people don't know how to train southpaws. I'm a southpaw. I learned that too very early. Um, I like that you can learn from different masters. Just like what Dylan said, you gotta always be willing to be a student. You gotta be willing to be humble, and then you gotta also be willing to be vulnerable. I think a lot of people not don't like being vulnerable. You gotta risk being vulnerable. Humility gets you far, you know. And that's one thing I learned to going into like different gyms. Before I realized like I could start my own gym. And that's my goal.
Nice. That is cool. So because you talked about previously, helping some folks out while you were coming up, but then maybe not so much currently. So that is a goal for you, is to eventually coach other people in boxing.
Yes, sir. I got everything like in the mill, man. I got two treadmills. I got some boxing games. I'm trying to just get like my own. Like I'm trying to get my own setup, man. Instead of all the kids playing basketball and playing football, come to my gym. You guys don't need a babysitter. Send your boys to me.
Hey, there you
Send your
go.
boys to me, man. That's the goal, man. My goal is to get as many experiences as possible. I'm willing to put myself out there to gain the wisdom and understanding, and then bring that back to the community, and hopefully people will take me as a master one day. You know, it's my goal.
Good. And I think that's a
So
good goal to
it's
have.
not just boxing. I want to do bare knuckle. I want to do MMA. I want to do even a kickboxing event. Man, one of my favorite
Hey,
promotions
let's
I watch
go.
it. It's gonna be the ugliest kick ever, but some clean punches.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, especially leg kicks and body kicks, they don't have to be pretty. They stack up. They
Yes,
remind
sir.
them they're there.
Man, bare knuckle is very like thrilling to me, man. I love bare knuckle. Like one of my favorite things to watch is like that outside of like obviously you guys is Gramba. You guys ever heard of Gramba? Man, they're
Wait, wait.
dope. Uh,
I think I've heard
They're
of them. I
like
think
based out
someone's
of
talking about
Russia.
them. Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
based out
yeah.
of Russia.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Man,
I have heard of them.
Them Russian guys are something else.
those Russian guys do weird stuff. They've got fights on top of
Beers?
I'm trying to think. Well, they got everything. I mean, they're doing aren't they the ones doing the hockey fighting?
They've got MMA basketball. They've got MMA hockey. They've got what us pro wrestling fans would refer to as like a Royal Rumble, but it's kind of like a Royal Rumble meets sumo wrestling. So it's just like you can shove each other out of the legal bounds, but like you're grappling or striking throughout, and it's like a last man standing thing. They have team MMA. They have a handicap match MMA, like two small dudes fighting a giant. If there's ground to be broken in the combat sports world, that is the incubator for it. Like that's where they're gonna try the shit. We're gonna be like, okay, maybe we can get away with that here. We'll probably have to start in like Alabama or Florida, and probably won't be able to do it everywhere.
They got some weird stuff in America, man. They got that night MMA stuff. You seen that night MMA in Tennessee? What in the world?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, would you ever do that? Would you ever do a night MMA stuff?
Bro, you might as well put a paintball gun in my hand or something, man. Close out the gun and put a paintball gun in my hand.
So for bare knuckle, is it just boxing that you're looking to do, or were you looking to do some bare knuckle MMA? I know you kind of probably already answered this one for me. You said you're kind of down for whatever, but do you have a preference for the bare knuckle game?
I think by me not being as experienced in MMA, I think bare knuckle MMA might be to my advantage. I think the glove might hold me back a little bit, Definitely like when them guys start grabbing my glove and start doing some jiu-jitsu stuff, you can get away with stuff with bare hands. Just like in boxing, man. The big gloves with boxing, just like what Dylan was saying, with boxing, there's some stuff I can get away with big gloves, even with an open palm. But with MMA gloves, that can get through,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. So, well, Sherman, we want to thank you for joining us. Is there any shout outs or anybody that you'd like to, say something to?
I like to shout out to the St. Louis Cardinals for whooping the Cubs every day for years. I'm talking about for years. I like to think that the Cubs been losing for 100 years. I'm glad they took steroids out the system, and Sammy Sosa's are gone, long gone, and long retired. They're probably in a he's probably in a retirement home somewhere. I like to thank God, and I like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. Can't wait to do business.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you July 26th at the Cube.
Let's tweak. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll catch you then, Sherman. Thank you for joining us.
I can't wait to see you, Sherman. No, it'll be great.
Yes, sir.
Coming, man.
Awesome. Great having those two on. That's going to be a good battle. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. You got an experienced boxer versus Dylan, who I'm not saying isn't experienced, but it just sounds like that is just what Sherman has been born in, is just stand-up fighting from childhood till now. So I'm excited for it.
And a lot, it's an interesting one. A lot of parallels between the two, right? Both talking about the mental side of it, both giving attributes to God too. So like, both seem like they have very similar, not only mindsets, but also abs, so there's that too. No, I think this is really going to be a good fight. And of course, from our side, you love to hear nothing more than what Sherman was saying there about there's controlled chaos. It's going to be, how do you say tweak? Kind of just let me. It reminded me a little bit of the "Let Me Bang, Bro" guy. Remember that? That's right. That's the energy you want, right? Like I just want to legally be allowed to hit somebody and have people cheer or boo for it. So I think it's going to be it really has all of the elements for a great fight. Like you said, we've got the sort of hometown hero and somebody who relishes in being the spoiler like that. These are good ingredients for one hell of a fight. And they're not alone either, guys. Like we're going to be doing more interviews for fights on this card. There are a lot of explosive punches and personalities that you will be meeting here in about, was that 17 days, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. I'm just excited. I'm waiting to see what the full card's going to be. So, I've seen that, Ricky, I always mess up. I always want to say Blue Water Wade. I know it's not Ricky. I know, but I always want to say Ricky Blue Water because I like it, okay? But he's going to be on the card. We've seen him. He's been on our on Carnage Media plenty of times. So plenty of videos of him fighting on there. We've got, I know, Mike Russell is going to be on there. You guys have seen that. He's been on here talking before. I'm trying to think of who else is going to be. Alino is going to be on this card. I think they're trying to find Jeremy Balboa a fight. We've seen him fight.
Hey.
I'm trying to think who else. Romel is going to be on there. You guys have seen Romel at a Greer promotion. He was on one of those. So I'm excited to see these guys, and I'm excited to see just what the whole lineup's going to be. I'm waiting for the promoter to send that over, so we've got those. We always get a nice little sneak peek before everybody else does of who's going to be on the card. So
if you want that sneak peek, you'll have to find it over at carnagemediappv.com. Once our editor-in-chief gets those gets that information and gets it posted. But that's where you'll go, all right? You want to be second to that information? There you go, pal.
Exactly. And if you want to watch the pay-per-view, you can catch it right there as well at carnagemediappv.com. You can catch some of our past stuff on there, or you can catch all the past stuff here on Carnage Media YouTube channel. We've got all our future stuff coming up, just like it's not next week, is it? The 18th isn't next week, is it? That's 2 weeks away, right? Or is that next week?
9 days from now.
Okay, so next week you can come right here, Carnage Media YouTube channel, and you can watch one of our charity events. It is going to be a striking and grappling event. We're going to be, all three of us are going to be there. The only person you're going to hear though is Kevin, because that's the only person everyone wants to listen to talk to.
That's right. No, I can't wait for that. I'll get to do my best Joey Styles impression and do some solo commentary. That'll always be fun. But those grappling and striking events, they are very exciting because you don't necessarily know what to expect. But the last one that we did, it included a knockout, and we had some very good grappling. It depends. Like, you have to be a real sicko like Wade to truly appreciate the grappling side of it. But, if you're really looking to learn a little bit more about the game on that side and see what some of these guys who you will inevitably see on future MMA cards, this would be a good chance to get a look at them. And then, of course, once you see somebody, go search their name on this very YouTube channel, because we probably have 3 or 4 of their fights from the last couple of years already on the channel. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting, fellas. I kind of forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me I have to work next Friday. I appreciate it. I'm glad I didn't hear. I'm glad this isn't next Wednesday. And you're like, oh yeah, 2 days from now we got we'll see you there.
Oh crap. No. So make sure you check out carnagemediappv.com, Carnage Media on YouTube right here where you're watching us. And remember, July 26th, 7 p.m. You can watch. If you can't get your tickets, you can't make it there, you can watch it right here with us. So check it out, and we'll see you then.
Adios.